you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks, put a cell phone like that up.
It comes following homophobic comments that he made, which led to canceled shows and projects.
And what I do at a live show is for the audience at the live show.
Every time you look at him, it just seems like things are going further downhill for DaBaby. From running the charts in 2019 to now being involved in some sort of bad headline in what feels like every other month, DaBaby keeps soiling his image by doing things like dropping homophobic slurs during concerts, attempting to kiss random fans who want to take pictures, dissing Nickelodeon star JoJo Siwa, and he even hit a female fan once at a Tampa show back in 2020. Everything this man has done just seems unprecedented and moronic, and despite all of this, he has had multiple chances to make a comeback. He did his best to clear up his controversies, and if there is one thing the music industry has shown us, for better or for worse, people will forgive you and still support your career as long as the music is good. When it comes to making music, the North Carolina rapper has had multiple major chances to redeem his image and build on his successful career. Kanye West invited him to be a part of Donda and gave him a chance to make a grand comeback on the Ye and Marilyn Manson collab Jail Part 2, and Baby did his thing on this song despite how weird of a moment it was. Later in October of 2021, DaBaby had a chance to redeem his image with fans at Rolling Loud New York as none other than 50 Cent brought him out on stage where he made his redemption performance, and he did win back the hearts of everyone there. With what seems like the culture ready to support him again, DaBaby has made multiple tries to get his career back to the way it was, with such things like the Back on My Baby EP, which flopped, and then again with his collab album with NBA Youngboy, Better Than You, which just didn't stick. With a failed comeback EP and collab album, DaBaby was really at rock bottom, and this is reflected in him canceling a show in New Orleans a few weeks ago as he only sold 500 out of 14,000 tickets. I mean, that is horrible. When you are at a point in your career like this, there is really only one more play you can run, and a lot of rappers have done it successfully before. Legends like Nas, Raekwon, and Logic, along with many others, have all brought their names back to the status they were once helmed at by releasing sequels to their classic albums, and on Friday, September 23rd, DaBaby attempted to recapture the magic of the project that blew him up, Blame on Baby 2. Now, the first Blame on Baby was a solid album and one of the better trap records in 2019. Through DaBaby's one-of-a-kind swagger, dominant presence, memorable hooks, fun beats, and exciting features, this project was everywhere, and rightfully so. Now, in the case of Baby on Baby 2, it utilizes a lot of these same ingredients, but at this point, it just all feels so stale. From start to finish, almost everything on this album is just straight out boring, as DaBaby has run his signature sound into the ground. Remember when we used to make memes about all of DaBaby's songs sounding the same? Well, this has really become our reality, as almost all of the moments on this record feel like they are copy and pastes of one another. One of the only kind of strong points this record has going for it is with DaBaby's energy, which as always is exciting in theory, but with him using the exact same flows he has since 2019, complementing these with bars that respond to all of the controversies and cancel attempts coming his way with childlike responses, this record is very painful to get through. The only interesting bars on this LP come on the song Boogeyman, where DaBaby claims he had a relationship with Megan Thee Stallion the day before she claimed to be shot in the foot by Tory Lanez. But is this the level we're at now? Whether this is true or not, the standout moment of your album is adding in your 2 cents about a controversy between 2 other artists that went down in 2020. I mean, this one moment should tell you everything you need to know. Whether good or bad, DaBaby has been through so much since this time, and he actually has a lot of ground he could cover. He could have made a true step forward in his career by referencing anything he has experienced, failed at, or learned from, but instead, he would rather tell us things like, "Baby, I've been turned up since the flip phone." Like, come on, at least act like you're trying. Now, honestly, all of this could still pass for a solid trap album as long as there is some memorable beats and choruses, but are you even surprised at this point that I tell you that there are none to be found? Almost all of the instrumentals sound like type beats that were made by producers making their first ever trap beats, and the choruses are just horribly structured and delivered, which can be seen on moments like Summon Dat and One Man Army. I mean, every song is just DaBaby telling us how he doesn't like anybody, how he's rich and how he's famous so he doesn't care about anybody, how he came from rags to riches, and that's that's it. Almost everything feels like stylistic regurgitation, and it makes the album seem like DaBaby did the whole thing in one studio session that I hope we never hear about. Now, the only time DaBaby is not riding out the dried out wave of his 2019 run is on the tracks Act That Hard and Still. Now, these tracks have more of a melodic focus as opposed to DaBaby's usual boisterous sound, and while these cuts make for some sort of soothing change, I guess, they are far from good as, DaBaby's low-pitched, monotone voice does not sound good at all when mixing it with some high-pitched vocal effects. Now listen, this isn't some crazy artistic reinvention. This isn't anything we should even credit DaBaby for. These are literally just like DaBaby's drunk Rod Wave impressions. They are not good. Now, near the closing leg of this record, DaBaby does something even worse. He tries to fuse the raw rapping that he gets paid for with this melodic sound for some awful reason, and he just ends up botching so many more moments, and it just hurts to listen. The only track on this album that's even close to good is the outro, Don't Let 'Em Lie, which honestly feels like what this record should be. This cut is a fierce but charming villain anthem where DaBaby actually gets a little bit into his personal life. He spends a lot of the track talking about his family and how he cares for his siblings, his kids, his nephews, his nieces. This is one of the only times where DaBaby feels like an actual person as opposed to an AI bot, but unfortunately, waiting till the last song of an album to do anything noteworthy is way too late. Looking at Baby on Baby 2 in the grand scheme of it all, you should not listen to this record as it's just a failure on all fronts, and it isn't one of those fun failures like Total Anarchy or Revival. Like, it is just painful to get through. You will go insane in the 36 minutes that you have to listen to this record for. Now, granted, if you threw this album on at a party, nobody would notice how bad it is, and that's one of the worst parts. As I just said, it's just so uninspired, it's so bland. It blends into the median of everything that's releasing. And at this point, with the saturated state that hip-hop is at, I would rather hear an album like Total Anarchy than an album like this. I mean, whether DaBaby is trying to relive his best days or is trying to imitate the sound of somebody like Rod Wave, this album just simply fails to be good or to be captivating at anything. I mean, this is why DaBaby can't sell out a show anymore, and this is why after a few weeks, people will forget about this album too. I mean, when it comes to the whole trap scene in 2022, the landscape has drastically changed since 2019. The leaders of the genre like Playboi Carti, Young Thug, Lil Uzi Vert, and Trippie Redd, they have shifted their sounds with albums like Whole Lotta Red, Punk, Red and White, Life's a Trip, and all of the new stars coming into trap are becoming increasingly more inspired by these changes, which is reflected in someone like Yeat. Now, when it comes to the more traditional sounding trap music we heard all last decade, the only ones who have been able to dominate while staying on top are really Future, 21 Savage, and Lil Baby, while other stars who blow up around the same time of DaBaby like Polo G have failed to adapt, and they have already seen the beginning of their demise. Now, for DaBaby, he falls right in this same category as his one-dimensional style and inability to innovate or grow with their audience is killing his longevity. I mean, when it comes to DaBaby's music at this point, he is no longer building a relationship with his fans, and he's no longer exciting enough to make a hit song. This leaves him in a place where he'll be able to profit off his image maybe for another 5 years at a festival like Rolling Loud, but eventually he will no longer be relevant enough to even perform in an ensemble like that. To quote J. Cole, which I really hate to do this because I was writing the script and it sounds corny, but in 5 years you gonna be on Love and Hip Hop, which is a reference to his 1985 song, which is pretty much just saying that a lot of these rappers who are in the game to profit and not to really express the art form are going to be irrelevant. And it's already that period where a lot of these rappers are becoming irrelevant. And this is why Baby on Baby 2 is not just a disaster of an album, but it's the end of DaBaby's career as we know it. Now, adding even more insult to injury, I will be rating DaBaby's Baby on Baby 2 a 1 out of 10, which is the second lowest score I have given to any album that I have reviewed this year. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe as we have a big week coming up with new music dropping from Kid Cudi, Freddie Gibbs, Denzel Curry, and many others. Even turn that bell on while you're at it. It helps us out a ton. Now, thank you so much for watching. Mr. Fantastic, Fantastic Hip Hop, signing out. Have a great day.